I have been holding crypto since like 2016, and I obviously kind of watched what was happening. And I have a education in art, and I watched what was happening with NFTs, and it became very apparent to me that there was a deep need for some discourse, for some art practice which blended performance, which blended gender, which blended sexuality, to kind of push the ecosystem in a way in which I felt that it was actually expanding the sense of knowledge. So my goal with Oona is really to also like expand knowledge and encourage different ways
Mm.
of seeing, right? So she was kind of born at NFT NYC 2021. And it's really funny because I went and actually, I never say this, but I got scammed out of a ticket for NFT
Mm.
NYC 2021. And this was like the first one in 2021. And it was so funny because then I just showed up and I was like, yeah, I'm performing. And then they just let me walk right in. And that's kind of where it all
Mm.
began. And since then, I've basically been on an Una rampage, going around. I've been in multiple different cities. I've now performed like all over the world, which is so fucking cool. And yeah, like NFTs and Web3 art and crypto art has actually landed me with some of the icons of performance art that I admire and adore. So like it's been this crazy avenue to obviously future project right into like a new ecosystem that we're creating together, into like a new environment that we're creating together, but also past project. So it's putting like taking me to conversations with performance artists that are from like the 1960s and 70s, and that's so cool that this technology can go both ways.
Oh, that's. I mean, that's quite interesting. I've been also going to a couple of events. Um, and yeah, I usually get a media pass because of my newsletter. So it definitely, I think, when there are people doing something in these events, it's kind of, if you're adding value in a way, it's easy to get in. But it's funny that in your case, it was a way to get into an NFT NYC. You said you were performing, and you took your mask. You had your costume, or how was it the first time?
I go everywhere with the mask, so I'm never seen without the mask. And I did it at all these like parties as well. I knew no one coming into this industry, so I would just gate crash the parties completely uninvited, and I would just walk to the front of the line in the mask, and I'd be like, "Hi, I'm performing." And I think because people thought it was just so ridiculous, they were like, "Sure, go ahead." And
Yeah.
it's been really fun because you start to meet so many people in that way. And I always like to challenge rules, not that like I don't like them or understand their value, but I think as people who are into crypto art, we are a bit renegade. So I always like
Hmm.
to bring a bit of that like renegade. And the beauty of performance art is that it is very lived, it's very embodied. It uses reality as the canvas. So in this way, just going and showing up at these conferences for me also is performance art, because I inherently always talk about gender, always talk about sexuality with people. So it might not be art, which is in like a frame that you're used to seeing, but for me, it's certainly performance art.